joining me tonight. It is a wild day, Tuesday. We had a bunch of earnings. So a lot of big questions is the low in. And, to be honest with you, when I look at these indicators, the one thing that I look at right now, and I want to point this out to you, this is an ATR, Wells Wilder's, plain and simple. I modified it to a 10 period because that represents 10 trading days, 2 weeks. Most platforms have it 14. Won't get into reasons why, but what I'm looking for when there's a bottom to be put in. Markets take time. They just don't go down in one day and then right back up in one day. In this environment, there was a lot of technical damage in the market, a lot of big money shifts in the market. Globally, you guys know about Japan, interest rate differentials. Japan raised rates. Bank of England lowered rates. Canada lowered rates. Mexico lowered rates. European Central Bank lowered rates. Everyone lowered rates. We didn't. And so therefore, there's a global sense of interest rate differential changes going on affecting the market. Throw that on top of where's the economy going to go, seasonal weakness in August and September, and voila, you got heightened volatility. So if the market's going to make a low, there's a couple things that I look for. A, we want the JP MIC oscillator. This is a modified version of the McClellan oscillator to reflect the S&P 500 advanced decline work. So basically what we want to see is, it was a little oversold. We got to bounce. We need a zero line cross or we need a convergence pattern, but we need something more than just a quick reading. In fact, we might even get what's called a zero line reject. Sometimes the market gives you an oversold. It has a little dead cat bounce like it did here. Oversold, dead cat bounce, market rallies a little bit, fools everyone in thinking the low's in. What's the MIC oscillator do? Goes to the zero line, that's the zero line, the white line, and it rejects it and it goes down one more leg. I wouldn't rule out that type of pattern of what we would see more of a maybe 4 to 6 week type of range of choppy chewiness. So I don't think this market is by any nature safe to buy breakouts yet until we get more of an established bottom pattern with a combination of series of higher highs and higher lows and basing action. So the stock market's showing stochastics readings oversold. Markets can stay overbought till hell freezes over like it did here. They can also stay at oversold levels a little bit longer than most people are accustomed to. And then finally, this is a volume indicator. It's a proprietary volume tool that we created here. It's the John Person volume indicator. TradeStation has it. Wealth Charts has it. We have it on 2 other platforms. But what I wanted to just point out to you is that until the momentum turns more positive and reflects that money is confidently coming back into the market, like you see here, the histogram components start getting from less negative to more positive, and you get that upside reading. That's when we kind of feel it's a little safer to get put the toe in the water, so to speak. We don't have that reading based on today's action. So I just want to go through a couple things. Super micro tonight. Beat earnings, top line, revenues, everything. The stock traded as high as I believe it was 727 initially, way up to 727. Earnings conference call started at 5 o'clock, and the more they talked, the lower it went. And now we're trading as low as 557. It's going to put pressure on most of the semis, including NVIDIA, going into tomorrow. One stock is cybersecurity, Fortinet, up 16%, stealing market share possibly from CrowdStrike. So you want to pay attention to that. And then finally, I just want to cover this one real quick because I take personal responsibility of bringing it to your attention a week ago based on the monthly high closed doji pattern. And that's why I look at high closed doji patterns on a monthly basis. They give high probability setups. We know where the entry is. We talked about buy a pullback in here, somewhere around the midpoint. When I gave that video out, go back and check DFC, had a monthly high closed doji. And just what we would like to see, commercials or longer term investors getting in. And that would be reflective of positive volume trend on a monthly basis. Day traders won't be staying with a long position, but institutions would. Commercials, high-end traders may have found a bottom in this particular market. Now, VF Corp is the parent company for North Face and also Vans. I'm a cute little story. The youngest kid, I think, or close to one of the youngest kids ever to win a gold medal, is an Australian in skateboarding. And if you Google or search for this, you'll notice that not only is she like head to toe, but just like an incredible athlete from Australia doing skateboarding, but she's also wearing Vans, and the parent company is VF Corp. So earnings today came out. They lost less, let's put it that way, but you can clearly see it's up 7%, 1730. So, maybe tomorrow we can see if it retains that value, into the open. I'm thinking 18 or so for a quick trade on the exit side of that. That'd be a nice trade. I'll take 17.75 to 18 even, and then balance out on that position. So that was definitely one that we gave out last week. Now let's talk about some other things here that you guys are interested in. Shopify has earnings out tomorrow, and my 2 cents is Shopify. More likely, I don't think the low is in the stock market. Shopify is an e-commerce portal that's a Canadian-based company. Shopify, for myself, I would believe that we're going to see some kind of recovery in the e-commerce business, but based on some of these other names like Airbnb down 13% on bad guidance. They had a great quarter. What was history ain't good for the future, so to speak. So Shopify should give some positive guidance, and they may not give top and bottom line. So I'm more of a buyer on a dip to retest the lows, and it might be a better after earnings trade if you're interested in that. And Disney, I feel the same way. I don't think the low is in, and I think whatever the earnings come out, good positive top line, bottom line beats. Anything with bad guidance is going to get punished, and I still think that you got a shot at 83 on Disney. So we'll see how the market opens up tomorrow and go from there. The Algo Room, a couple interesting things. This is the Algo models, which the Qs went short, covered the short, and went long, and then exited that long today on a trailing stop. The SPY missed everything, but the SPY model's done very well. In fact, most people are interested in looking at strategy performance reports. And this is the actual strategy report for the SPY model. So it hasn't really done much because of this volatility, and it missed that trade because the risk by the entry would have gone short based on a signal right here. It would have had too great of a risk to capture that. So it did not trade that downside action. SQQ went long the market on the close, and this is our daily E-mini model. It's kind of a bread and butter. It runs 24 hours, but today was no exception, a good day. If it, as you can see, this is what we run in our live trading room that people can take advantage of. Part of our advisory service, the newsletter, everything is combined with that. People see the trades and the entries. These yellow dots are trailing stops. So bottom line, it had a couple really good trades. It would have, but we had short-term profits on the interim today because of the fact that the trailing stops. Once it gets near a profit target, it jams a stop in, so it ensures a profit. This is a losing trade right here. Went short, was in a winner, but got stopped out first and then went down. Right, that happens. So the point being is a lot of new traders and a lot of traders get kicked around a little bit, and they got to understand it's not a sprint. This is a marathon, and every trade's not going to have winners. And a day like today, man, this was a crazy market. So I am happy to report that the E-mini model did uphold today's volatility. Again, tomorrow's another day. So for stock traders for tomorrow, we're going to obviously have some issues. Nvidia's now back to 103 based on Supermicro's earnings conference call. So Supermicro, my 2 cents is that right now it's trading at around 540 and change. It's probably overdoing itself. Look what the low was, 529. So let's believe this is a proxy for how the rest of the market's going to go. I don't think the low is quite in, and I think what we do is we retest Monday's low open, whether it's in Snowflake, MongoDB, Microsoft, all these names. Google, we had a green line of support to look for the market for a buying opportunity, and the PPS indicator popped right into gear. So for me, I think that the market is acting in a very technical way. Don't buy breakouts in this model. Some people would argue, why don't you sell rallies? Well, selling a rally in Amazon, I think if you're now deciding to sell a rally in Amazon, let me just go back here a little bit for you. I mean, I think selling a rally now is kind of a moot point, right? Yes, we were in a PPS sell mode. It's been that way. Would I look to be a seller or a buyer near what we're looking at is longer term support right into an old area of what caused a rally, a breakdown, and another rally. So if you take a look at where the highs were, where that sell signal came in, where that buy signal came in, where another sell signal came in, it's right against the low that caused on Monday. Any re-challenge of that low. Now, a challenge of the low could be halfway between the range, or it could be the open, or it can actually be posting a newer low. But somewhere close to this 150 number, if we get an opportunity, I want to be a buyer on Amazon. Now, it's not a big deal. It's $11, and it might take, you've got to be patient. It might take a week. Buying at the right price isn't as important as buying a stock at the right time at a good price. And there's a big difference. A lot of people are like, oh, I got to get in, I got to pick the bottom. Well, you want to be buying under the right condition. If Amazon, for example, gets to 150 and we have some news that is devastating to the overall market, a bank failure or something, 150 doesn't do you. You bought it at a great price, but it could go to 130 first and knock you out, and God knows what you would do if by making a mistake and saying 130, I got to get out and sell the low, and then it goes up. So again, it's not about price, it's time and price. Remember that. It's the condition of the market, and that's what we want to make sure that we tell at least our clients. Volatility right now, odds are we're going to see another push in the VXX. I don't look at the VIX as much as I look at the VXX because I can look at volume trends. And what I would just offer in this environment right now, we would get a better sense that the market bottoms out and volatility peaks out when you get a trend trade in volatility. If we make a newer high in the VXX and it's on weaker volume using on balance volume, and you get a setup of a divergence, that would be one condition that I would suggest that we've got the bottom is in for right now. So this is kind of an important area of a topic of how to not just teach people how to trade, but also to enhance your awareness of what items you want to be focused on. So just as a quick review, you want to make sure S&Ps start to see a decrease in the 10-day ATR. You do not want to look for a bottom on an increase rising ATR, because usually markets go down slowly and softly and they rise slowly. On the upside, they go down fast and furious. The old adage is they go up on an escalator, they go down in an elevator kind of thing. So it's more probable that we retest the lows. If not, maybe we even see some cap weighted effect. Maybe Apple gives it up a little bit. Maybe Meta gives it up a little bit more. And if that's the case, there is a shot that we get even more, just somewhere of a newer low in the market. I'm not saying we're going to happen because I can't foretell the future, but it would not surprise me. Today's action, we had pegged the old swing low should act as resistance, and we go up and fill a gap, and it's exactly what the S&P did today. And some people may have gotten trapped up on that move, even having the PPS. Now again, you're looking at Thinkorswim by Charles Schwab, and this has got my person's pivot indicators. This is the whole package right here. Person's pivot indicator with the PPS indicator outlining that we've been looking at the week-to-week person's pivots. It actually flipped into a bearish mode back here on, when was that? July 19th. So we've been in a bearish mode July 19th, and odds favor the lows not quite in at this point in time. So a couple things, wait for the ATR to start, or as we say, the dust to settle. Wait for the ATR to start coming in a bit. Watch for a divergence on the volatility, the VXX, another great sign there. And then thirdly, what I would want to watch to see that the absolute bottom is in. We get a consecutive series of higher highs and higher lows. And then finally, if markets are truly bullish, they trade north of their respected pivot points. And we ain't nowhere near there. And that's what we teach people, and what we do as well, if a lot of people are interested, is we host every year a 2-day seminar at the end of the year. This year's no exception. It's in Palm Beach Gardens in December. So if you're interested in learning more about our techniques, our skills, our indicators that we've created that are plastered all over different fabulous charting platforms and trading companies like Charles Schwab's Thinkorswim, then you want to find out more about our seminar, come visit the website at personsplanet.com, and I'll give you more information over time about that. But it is coming up in December. I wish everyone well. Just remember, bottoms aren't formed in one day. And generally speaking, we got to have a process of the bottom. And I don't think we're done yet. There will be some bargains, and you just need to be a little bit patient. Good job. And if you took the VFC, good job. If not, no problem. At least you learn what the high close doji is. Thanks a lot. And I hope this information found you well. Have a great evening.